Already, I think we are on. Hello, hello. All right, people started coming. Hey, people, what's going on? How are you? Good morning, good evening, good night. All right, I think people are out there. Should we start it? Okay, just type your name and say yes. Then we can, start the session. All right, I can see yes. Hi, Shita. Hi, Bhuvi. Hi, Thomas. Hi, Kavya. All right. So let me share my screen and start with this session. I hope we can enjoy this session. Let me know if you have any questions in between. Fred is there. We can ask all those questions and yep, we can start this. Let me share my screen. All right, here we go. So yeah, you already know you already know the title, like heuristic evolution for better user experience. I'm Somesh. I'm user experience designer at Moonraft. you know yes, I'm engineer turned into the designer. So this is how my journey started. For it's been like 5 to 6 years in the design industry. I started with my engineering background. I did not know d of the design, but I really started from the zero, and then probably figuring out each and every experiences that we have on the road. Like I started with the engineering, and now I'm enjoying the design industry, like the design field. Currently, I'm working on the Moonraft, and yeah, that's all my journey is. Like no any special things, like so yeah. So this is where I work, like Moonraft. Yeah, to where Moonraft believes in the curiosity. Like curiosity is great. Like it brings on the design, art, and technology together. We deliver an differentiated digital experiences. We try to analyze each and everything. What are the new things out there in the Moonraft, in the industry, and we try to figure out in each and every project. We try to do our best, and like give the best out there. We are also in the top 50 companies out there. We have eight main industries, and we have really given our time for this platform. Like that's where we our curiosity has jumped on the next level. So yeah, so that's all about me, and where I work. So yeah, this is how the things we are going to cover in this uh, like in the this session. So on the first thing, what we know, I think we already know that what we do, what is the design process we follow, then what is the heuristics basically, why is it better, from the another methods that we generally use in the for the usability. When should we we propose it into the design process, what are their pluses minuses, each and every method have there it's a plus and minuses. That's where we come and hand it towards, try and we try and different methods, and try to use it on the best way. Then we will have deep dive into it. How do we what are there the 10 principles of the heuristics. We will be I'll be sharing one of the Figma template where you can use it on the later basis. This is the template I have tried and tested out. I have created it my own way. If there is an any suggestions, being I'm not the subject expert, but this is how I started with the my experience. And then yeah, really going out. So yeah, so what we know, like we generally follow our like design process, where we try to analyze the problem statement. We identify each and everything, and then we go on to the design phase, like define phase, where we actually start finalizing the problem statement. So then we go to the ideation, where we start our uh, start our ideation process, where we find ideas, we find different methods to solve each and every problem, and we follow with the one direction to get into the prototype. Like prototype, we basically to whatever we have ideated, we try and find it out with the usual visual thing. Then again comes it the last and very most important part of the design process is the state testing. So whatever we have designed, like whatever the components we have been doing in the design process, we try it and test it out. Whatever the whatever the interfaces we have designed, it's really a better, really it's an usable or not. Like, so this is how we divide it, like first two step into, like these are the three phases we try in each and every design process, like from the problem finding stage to the iterating the solution, and then the third is the testing. Like and yep, there are tons of process, like from the problem finding to the testing, and each and every process have its it's pluses and minuses, that as we discuss. Like, so which process to use, which process to use on the what stages, that we generally know. Like that's where this topic came into my mind, right? Why I chose this topic basically. So I'll quickly give you the brief about why I chose this topic, and why, what actually excites me to share this topic with you guys. So again, I come with the design school in India, like MIT Institute of Design. And there we found, like each and every student were trying and testing out, doing different projects, uh, doing, like we do have an inspiration platforms like Dribble, Behance and all. But one question we really used to have, that whatever we are designing, whatever projects we are doing, that those are the platforms we are creating, like applications and websites and products, those are really usable or not, right? So we didn't know about like what process to use, and how can we design the better experiences. Again, it comes to the freelancers, right? I'll share the story. Like, one of my friend like got the project, like and his client wanted to redesign and reskinning the process, right? uh, Again, with the background and with the things, he really started to redesigning overall product, where he your his client wanted to do that. After doing so much things and redesigning the attractive product, right? Again, like his client used to face same things, like there were like workflow problems. User wanted to sign into the platform, but they were not really like there were different reasons that were, like uh, even it was really an attractive and very good looking platform, it was not really a usable, right? So again, he did not do any usability testing for his earlier platform, like where he wanted to go to the redesign, right? He did not know what are the problems his client was facing, right? And he did not know that each and everything, like he didn't really think about doing all those research, right? he directly jump onto the stage where all the designers we kindly, they really follow an inspiration from dribble and all those platforms. But those are the platform are really, we should really ask questions to ourselves. Is it really usable? Is it really a solving a problem? Yeah. So if we get those problems, those answers, then we can really to step forward to the next, doing the reskinning. Again, it's an employee, the third stage, where not the stage, but each and every employee really faces this problem, where we work with the agile environment, right? And in the agile environment, we try and each and every process, try to use each and every process. But again, it's on a time management, where we can't really figure out, if we do it, we do have very less time for research, less time for usability testing, and less time for and for that given time, we really think that what are the best processes we can use, and which are really will solve the current problem. Again, we really think that this will be the best, that will be the best. But we really think of each and every process. But again, the within the less time, how we can do it best possible way, and better our current experience. So that's where how can we design better usable experience. Now, there are a lot of things we consider while designing the any experiences. The first thing that comes into the mind, how can we design the better user experience by using the simplicity. So what is mean by the simplicity? Our product should be simple and minimal enough to try, and each and every user should really feel and really use that it is really simple, and I'm gonna use it. There is no really, and uh, mm, like really not I can do it in best possible way, and it's really simple. Second thing, we tried it to the consistency, and each and every platform should be really consistent, where you can see, where when it comes to the from the landing page to the whatever output you are doing on to the last step of the interface, right? Let's say we take an example of Amazon, we take an example apple.com, right? uh, each and every process, you feel that, they are following some consistency in each and every stage. So that's where it comes to this is the platform where I can be I can use it on the better way. Third thing is the readability, there are a lot of websites not really use each and every guidelines which are there in the market, right? They don't really ask about is it really a readable platform, is it really a the better platform where I can go and each and every section and try and read it out each and every line, right? Again, those are the phases. The fourth thing is about the accessibility. Do our platform is really accessible? We, I don't know, right? We generally get these answers from each and every designers. Are we really following each and every users? They have these problems, that problems, and did we follow our design directions to do and design our platform really accessible. Last thing is all about where it comes to the visual designers things really, and in and out for the best of the best design possible into the market, right? So that's the thing, is the attractiveness. Does our platform is attracting the people, those are our users? Are they really feeling that this is the really a good platform where I can use in and out, I can spend more time, like we maybe spend most of the times on the Instagram, on the Facebook, right? So I think these are the five things we look forward. But what are those five things? Those are the usability principles, right? But how can we get those principles into the processes? Like, how can we really find that this is the process where I can use those five principles, and I can design the better experiences. So that's how the heuristic evaluation starts. So what is heuristic evaluation? So again, it measures the all the usability problems into the interfaces. Whatever usability issues we have on the interfaces, that it really measures. So what is the purpose of doing heuristics? It is basically trying and finding out each and every issues of the current interface, and try and minimize those usability issues, and to get next level of the interface, where it is better in terms of the those five principles that we really heard. So why is it better? Again, it requires a less time, like whenever we don't have time for doing the fast forward usability, where we try and think out each and every aspect of usability, but we can't do for the certain timelines. That's where we can introduce heuristic evaluation. It basically you can do it in the less time, like probably it completes into the weeks, like into the days. uh, mm, Again, it requires less resources, like in terms of usability, you for try and find out each and every user interviews, like users for the user interviews, you try and find out each and every platform to check into the prototype phase. Like if you want to check out your prototype, you try and find out usability testing platform, and use it to onboard the users, and then for having those usability testing done. But here you can do it without those. So that's where you require the less resources. Again, if you are doing it in the minimal time and with the less time, yeah, it's a cost effective. So that's where it is really a beneficial for our timeline. So when should it be proposed, right? Where we can introduce this process. So again, while we are doing our reskinning or redesigning the platform, like whether it is the work of clients work, whether we are doing like if you are a student, if you are trying and finding out our portfolio project, where we are doing redesigning or reskinning of the platform, that's where we can use this process. Again, if this is for the freelancers, where client already knows, like all the usability tool that he has, and he wanted to really minimize those usability issues. That's where you can introduce in the minimal time. And then again, if we have a very less time on a less budget, that's where we can introduce this. Again, every process okay, what time we are we on right track? All right. Okay. So yeah, each and every process has their pluses and minuses, right? So what are its pluses? It takes an earlier deficiencies, right? If we are doing any projects for let's say if we are a freelancer and if we are doing project for a certain client, and he already has a platform and he wanted to redesign it. Now again, we can check what are the problems that are there in the current platform, right? And then we can learn from those, and then we start our redesigning. It identifies several problems. It, like all the complex problem, those are really we can't think through that. It also identifies. uh, yeah, and the basic thing is, right, it saves money, time, and all the resources. So yeah, again, it's it detects all your minor problems that are if those are unnoticed, and then we can really find out the corner problem, and we can minimize that. So as I told you, like there are a lot of minuses. There is whole debate going on to the internet. It has the minuses, and it has the pluses, right? But what I do really think is each and every process has minuses, but again if it really fitting into our design process, we can introduce it, and we can get it the better, get it the plus from that processes, even if it has a minuses. So what are the minuses? Like each and every time we don't have really experienced evaluators for this process. Like it requires minimum 3 to 5. But again, if you are a freelancers or if you are a student, we can try and find it out, the fellow designers or the fellow freelancers. Or if you are on the the full time job, or in the company or the agency, we can have minimum 3 people to to start with this. So also, like it can also gives you like the false alarms, which are not like if we have certain goals into the process, these are the problems we want to really analyze and get rid of. But sometimes it gives you the false statement, like false usability issues, that those are the things we don't really need. But we try and fill it the the template or the heuristic evaluation sheet. So again, the second thing is the bias thoughts. Again, if you are doing it onto the 3 to 5 evaluators, again same problem, you are thinking like I am thinking this is the usability issue, but it can't be same for the another person. Like he can also think like this is the really needed for that process, and that's where they have done into the certain ways. So that those are the biased thoughts we can really get while doing into the heuristic evaluation. Again, I told you, like we have certain objectives for doing it. Like if we are redesigning it, we have set a goals, set objectives that we are really fall into, and that's where we going to achieve it. So that's where you set the your grid, and it may reveal those problems that are outside of the grid. That again each and every time we do really use those resources, right? Like we can't find that experience evaluators. We don't have like each and everything that is placed into the product. So yep. So those are the really minuses for the heuristic evaluation. But why not giving it a chance? Like again, those are the two things. Like why should we choose it? Like continuing with the medical core product or the bad product, it's complete a disaster. You like no one wants a disaster product, right? So that's where you can introduce again it it no, it will not cover each and every aspect of usability issues. But we can have a small increment on the design process, or the for the betterment of our experience. Like so let's go to the deep dive. Like that's where I can really give you quick glance of how we can do that. So I'll quickly give you the checklist. What do we need for doing one heuristic evaluation study for our product? First is we need an evaluators, like minimum 3, maximum 5, or maximum 8. Like it goes to the like whatever team we have, but it requires minimum 3 people. Again, what heuristic state you are going to use? Again we use Nelson normal. That's the best we think. And like you already followed NN group, like Nelson Norman group. That's where you can grab it, all those 10 principles. Third thing is like, you should have persona in place, scenario in place, and the task in place. So fourth thing is whatever scores we have decided for the heuristic study, that's we going to display. And then the last thing is, how our report will look like. So first checklist is about the evaluators and the product evaluate. Again, we will require the current website, product, or the mobile application workflows to start with the study. Like evaluators are the minimum 3 to 5 evaluators. Again, this is the heuristic set. uh, Again, due to time concerns, I think you can, I'll share this link with you guys, or else you can find it on the NN group, where each and every heuristic they have made. So I'll just quickly grab into each and everything. Like I'll just give you 1 to 2 examples, and then I'll go into the, like I'll go to the report, how we can start with the study. So first principle is the like visibility of system status, right? Again, if you are designing certain product, it should be really display that where I am. Like again, there are 5 phases of that workflow. So user really needs to understand that where he is. Again, he is like in the given example, like I can see that the task I have given, like I have clicked on the download button, and it's downloading on the 64%, and it will be complete on the in the few seconds. Second is the match between system and the real world, right? Again, we generally think that again we have the subconscious mind, where we really try and connect each and everything, right? Again, the dustbin example is really a self-explanatory. I think more, I think those are two examples would be great to start with. I'll just quickly actually uh, go to the next things. Let me know what are people thinking. All right, got it. Okay, so persona, right? Why do we need these 3 things in place? Again, persona, where we set our objectives, what really we want from our users, what are the problems we are solving for our users, what are the goals we have decided for for doing this scenario. It will help you understand situation, for what situation we are imagining our heuristic study. Like if there are some workflows, like let's say we want to do it for the login flow, if we want to do it for the for the commerce platform, to the add to cart section. Like, we can use those phases, yeah, and try to analyze the scenario behind it, and then we introduce. Third thing is the task. And now once you have the scenario in mind, you set up the task, you set up the workflow, like each and every screen. Let's say the login flow, how will first screen will look like, second screen will look like. We try and fit it to the task, and then we try to analyze each and every things that are there in the current interface. So this is how the scoring goes, where 0 is basically imperative to fix. If we are thinking that this is the really a major problem of usability, and this that need to be really solved in minimum given time, that's where it's called the imperative to fix. Where it's a really a major problem, like above the major problem. When it's not again it's like important to fix, but it is on the high priority. Minor user pay problem, we give it a two score two, where we can fix it to the medium priority. Third thing is the cosmic problem, where basically we can get rid of that problem, but it's not really required, it's not really impacting to the current interface, but yeah, it has its own importance. That's where we go to the score 3 on the cosmic problem. Four is basically where you have the biases, basically, right? So I don't agree that this is not the usability problem. That's where you can decide. You will give to the 2, 1, 2, 3, or the 4. So, again, scoring goes to the mapping card where, we have decided the flow, and we will, map those, platforms to the, this way. Like, let's say we find out on the login screen in the login button. So each row is there, location is into the login screen, heuristic is, whatever, specific we want, score we have given, and then the recommendation what we, solve for that issue. That's where the mapping cards comes. Again, this is the formula for usability. Each and every, heuristics, you have your problems in place, and that's where you give to the total points. We sum of that, and then, we divide it by 40, and then into 100. That's where you get the usability rate. Again, there are three things, in which thing your product is really falling. It's if your score is between 0 to 30, that means, uh, you need to work really hard for your betterment of your product. If it's between 34 to 66, yeah, it's an average, and 67 to 100, it's in the, excellent stage. So this is where the report comes. I'll share the screen. I'll, uh, show it to the template, and that's where you can, find out your all problems. uh, but due to the time concerns, I think we should give, like 10 minutes for the, question and answer. I'll, give that link to the chat box. All right, this is where, you can find the template where each and everything I discuss. You can find it on the, template. How can you do it? So yeah, all right. I think that's all from my side. I think, Fred, we can start, Q and A now. So sorry, guys. I haven't really explained each and everything due to the time concern. But, if you want to connect me on, LinkedIn, or Instagram, that's where you can, we can start this conversation, the remaining conversation. Yeah. Hi, Fred. So yeah. So how is the, UX audit is different from the heuristic? Like, again, there are different perspectives when you get on the UX audit. Again, defines, like, uh, uh, each and everything. So like, UX audit is a big part, where, heuristic evaluation a very small study. Like, if you have a very less time, that's where you can, go with your heuristic study. But again, your UX audit is all about, getting all things in place, and, try and find out each and every, problems in the current interface. Yeah, it's, I think that's the basic answer I can give right now. Next question: what are the heuristic tools that you use for evaluating UX? I don't use any tools. I generally follow, like, what is there in the NN group, right? They have explained each and everything, on the certain way. Like, each and every usability they have already given, and that is how, I try and, it's a trial and error method, right? I tried, and, I made it out the template, and that's really a beneficial for, whatever I'm working on. It's really impacting a lot, for my current work. Yeah. What framework do you use to prioritize actionable findings? uh, what framework? So again, it requires, like, so generally what I do is basically, if you go onto the, template, those are the, things I try and use. Like, if we, let's say, I haven't, realized, like, okay. Uh, so when you go on to my, heuristic study template, where, the last column is all about the, what problems do we find in each and every area. Like let's say for the usability, visibility of system status, we have found 10 problems. And mm, like each and every area I try and analyze, and then we find out what is really impacting my interface and what is not. And that's how I try to prioritize each and everything. Again, there are some roadmaps we already doing. So I try to identify the those things that are really impacting to the current interface, and try to solve it. I think, yeah, it's a basis on the what I need to do for the betterment of the current problem. How often should heuristic evaluations be conducted to maximize efficiency and benefit? Again, if I try to answer it for the full time employees, right, like the full time company, where basically you follow our sprint structure, and you have your setup roadmap for that. So I think I try and use it like 3 to 4 times in like once in a one quarter, where each and every area you have certain uh, like certain screens you have already worked on, and that's where you have that things in the mind, and you start your heuristic study. Again, you reiterate all those problems, and try to find out those answers, and again you place those problems into the quarter 2 or quarter 3, and that's how you solve it. So again, I try to like maximize my efficiency on that basis, like try and each and every things step by step. What if you can't afford to hire usability experts? How to ensure usability and accessibility in design? Again, I told you, like if there are, like if you are a student, if you are a freelancers, right? Again, we don't have a really great usability experts in our mind. So generally, when I was doing my freelancing, I used to do it my own. Well, again, uh, we I think we gonna miss out a lot of things when we are doing out on it our own. But yeah, that's really, and I try, and each and everything it is really a impacting our users. Let's say if we have a users in place, I try to interact with them. So basically what I do is I have those findings and hypothesis basis on the usability, uh, uh, and then I try to find it or try to validate with the user inputs. So yeah, how does one differentiate between various versions of heuristic evaluation method, and which one is right? Oh, that's a good question. Again, follow my template. Mm, yeah, again, there is no right or wrong method, right? Again, if you are doing it on our own way, whatever goal you have decided, if those are really satisfying by doing the study, uh, yeah, that's right for you. What is the ideal no number of people to carry out irregular? So basically, you can go, do it on your own way if you are a freelancer or if you are a student. Yeah, if you can get the help of people, then that's a great. But minimum size, yeah, generally, expert go with is the 3 to 5 people or 3 to 7 people. Do you have any resources to share that would help us better with the recirculation? So I have shared the template. That's where you go to the quick links, uh, and you can grab all the resources. uh, is it like, do we have really time? Okay, last question. Okay, how do you process stakeholders to resolve certain problems you found during evaluation. So basically, each and every stakeholders have different perspective about the design, right? Again, if you are showing your results with your study, again, they can really go with the flow, right? You talk with them, you've tried to validate with them like each and every problem, like you should have minimum 3 to 4 points or 3 to 5 points, where you can have the really gist of all your your lesson study, and you can really talk with them and solve this issue. Yep. All right, I think yeah, so this is all about the session, guys. I hope this is really help you guys. I tried and find out. I told you like I'm not the subject expert, but I have tried those things from the last 3 to 4 years, and it's really helping me a lot. If you have any questions, do reach me out. For the following platforms that have shared into the template. And yeah, do let me know, or do check out my profile on ADP list, and book my session to start this session where we left, other where we are leaving now. That's all from my side. When we want to stop this.